Coach Greg here. We're going to be talking about supplements. So supplements are there to help enhance our diet, but they definitely cannot replace it or, even recover from a very poor diet. So we need to make sure we have that in order. But then when we add supplements in, we can even further enhance the results and the progress that we see during the 6-week challenge and beyond. So we have a number of different ones here that I'm going to touch on, but if you have other questions later on, feel free to reach out to your Actualize coach and they'll be able to assist you in those. So the first one that we're going to talk about is AG1, or the Athletic Greens. So this is kind of like your all-in-one supplement. So it's the equivalent of a multivitamin. It's a greens powder, so you get your serving of fruits and veggies. Has a probiotic, prebiotic, and digestive enzymes that are thrown in there to help with our gut microbiome, as well as improving like our digestion. Has a good vitamin C and zinc that are going to promote our immunity. So, if we tend to get a little bit sick, especially kind of like in the cooler months, and especially as kids are going back to school, they tend to bring home a lot of the sickness and illnesses. So this can be a really good way to help to, combat that and prevent some of those snivels that you might get. But yeah, this is really just kind of like that all-in-one supplement. And so to cover your needs, even if you are eating a whole foods diet, like this is going to help to make sure that you fill in those gaps. So definitely check out the AG1. The next one that we'll be talking about is going to be our level 1 protein powder. So protein is one of those that we find is really lacking in a lot of people's diets, and it's hard to get solely from whole food sources. So that's where protein powder can really come into play. So with the level 1, this can be really good post-workout. So when your body is looking for nutrients and something to help with the recovery process after it's been worked, protein can be there to help to assist that. It also can be used anytime throughout the day that you need just like an extra bit of protein as like maybe a snack or even as like a meal replacement. And the way that we kind of have our 6-week challenge eating structured is we ask you to eat, a meal that consists of a protein, fat, a carb, and a veggie. So if we're thinking of this as a meal replacement, this is going to be your protein source. And then you think, okay, what's my carb? It's like, oh, maybe I'll throw in some frozen fruit. So there's your carb. And then if you're gonna think, what's your fat? It's like maybe you throw in some almond butter and there's a healthy fat for you. And then you throw a handful of spinach in there. And great, then that covers your protein, your fats, your carb, your veggie. And then all you need to do is mix it with some water or like maybe some almond milk or coconut milk, and then you're pretty well set. And then you can take that, and that's an easy grab and go item that you can have. And we find that a lot of people really like doing that, especially in the mornings, because a lot of people tend to not be breakfast eaters, but we need to make sure that we are getting that protein in our body. So utilizing that way of getting the protein in is going to be a really helpful thing to make sure you get enough protein to, not only build muscle, but to help with the fat loss process. After that, we have our omega-3 supplement, the Fulmega. And omega-3s is an anti-inflammatory, and it's typically found in like foods like fish and walnuts and things like that. But I know a lot of people don't eat enough fish in the week, so making sure that you're getting that omega-3 supplement in is going to be really important. And it's good for like our heart health, our eye health, brain health, and it's really good for kids. So if you have kids, make sure they are supplementing with a good quality omega-3 that includes the EPA and DHA. Those are going to be the most important components of those omega-3 oils. So making sure that you're taking that on a regular basis. That's something that you can just take 2 of those soft gels every single day. Then the last one that we have kind of considered as our foundational supplement, and even like is included kind of in our little package that we have, is going to be Element. And so this is our electrolyte supplement, and they come in little sticks or packets that you just dump into your water and you drink. So it's something simple as that. And this is really good, especially like in the summertime when you're sweating a little bit more, or if you just tend to be a heavier sweater and salty sweater. Making sure that you're having some electrolytes to help assimilate and bring in that water into your cells and into your body is going to be really important. And hydration is going to be the key to making sure that you can not only perform in the gym, but also throughout your daily life, because it helps with like the mental and cognitive functioning of our body. So definitely recommend this. There's 0 sugar in it, and that's why we really like that here, because we can get some added sugars from everything else. But in our supplements, like this is going to do really well for us to, compared to someone like, say, like Liquid IV or some of the other ones that have like an abundance of sugar. Not that it's necessarily bad, but, if we just overdo it, as with anything, that's not always the best option. So those are going to be some of the foundational supplements. Then going from there, we also have some of the kind of performance line supplements that, like, if you're looking for just that extra edge, this can be something that you start to include into your workout routine and kind of into your just lifestyle in general. So kind of the first one that we'll talk about here, so other than the Level 1 protein powder, we have our Formula 1 protein powder. And so this is gonna be best for pre and post workout. So this is a very finely broken down protein. It's a whey protein isolate. So that just means that it's very easy to absorb and digest by your body. And so when we're looking to get in nutrients to our body fast, this is gonna be the best kind of protein powder to use, as opposed to, say, the Level 1, where it has some slower digesting proteins, which is good other times of the day and still fine during your workouts. But if we're looking to really optimize the recovery process, or to make sure that we got a little bit of fuel in our body for our workouts, the Formula 1 is going to be the way to go. And we also offer it in the natural version, so that uses stevia as a sweetener if that's something that you are interested in. Then we have our Ignition, which is going to be the carb source. And so carbs are going to be really important, so we don't want to shy away from carbs. Carbs are good for helping with the recovery purposes, and as well as helping with our energy levels during the workout. And this is something that you can just add a scoop to your protein shake, and then you are covered there. So you're getting the carbs that are going to help with like the glycogen replenishment, as well as making sure that we get that insulin spike, which is going to help to drive the nutrients to our muscles and tissues and to our body to help with not only giving us that energy pre-workout, but also helping with the recovery process post-workout. Then we have creatine, and creatine is going to be the most well-researched and well-backed supplement out there. So this is going to be just something that you take on a daily basis, whether you work out or not, just because it depends on the muscle saturation and the creatine levels that we can get into our body. So it's just one scoop that you're doing every single day. And this is going to help with your strength gains, help with the recovery purposes, and helping to build a little bit of lean mass to your body. And there's no reason to fear it. Everyone can take it and know it's not going to make you big and bulky, but it definitely can help you, like I said, to build that lean tissue, which is going to be really important, not only to make sure we get stronger, but also kind of for that longevity purpose. So creatine is definitely one of those that everyone should be taking, men, women, even kids. It's very safe, shouldn't have any complications with taking this. Then we have our Project One, which is going to just be our typical pre-workout. So, it has a healthy dose of caffeine in it. So if you are a little bit tolerant to caffeine, just be mindful about it. And also the time that you take it. So if you're working out in the evenings, then maybe be careful about that, because we don't want to disrupt our sleep. But also along with the caffeine, there's a lot of other good things that help with kind of boosting our endurance, helping with our strength gains, helping with kind of like our mental focus and performance within the gym. So this is something, take 20-30 minutes before your workout to make sure that you get a little bit of energy boost to it, and that you can really perform well and like get the best from the workout itself. So those are kind of like some of the main supplements that we have. Like I said, they definitely don't replace your diet, but they can really help to make sure you get that extra edge and really improve the results that you see during the 6-week challenge. So I encourage you, when you come to the Foundations class, that you talk to your coach and figure out what supplements are going to be best for you, whether you want to do like the Foundations package or potentially doing the performance package, and then you get a little bit of savings from that. Lastly, we'll talk about kind of the piece of equipment that we have available here at the gym is going to be the MyZone chest strap heart rate monitor. So within the gym, we use this, and it can also be used on your own to kind of gauge your intensity and kind of like how much your heart is actually working. So during our metabolic classes, that's going to be a good one to kind of see where you lie, how many MEPs you accumulate is going to be our MyZone effort points, MEPs. But especially going to be important when you're doing your cardio activities, and because that's going to help you make sure that you're in the right zone and you're working the energy system that is desired. So if we're trying to keep it aerobic based, that's going to be a little bit lower, with our heart rate in those beats per minute. But then if we're trying to train more of that anaerobic or kind of more of that HIIT style, we're looking to get that heart rate up, elevated, potentially into that red zone on occasion. And so having that available is going to be a really good kind of tool, and it just gives you more data and gives us more data as well, just to see kind of that intensity that you're performing things at. It can also be an indicator of kind of like your recovery. So if you find that just sitting there, your heart rate's slightly elevated more than usual, that can be a sign that you're just not well recovered, and maybe you didn't sleep well, maybe you're more stressed. And so that can kind of give you insight into how your body actually is and potentially why maybe your performance suffers in a workout. And also throughout your time at Actualize, we have challenges that go on in the gym, and sometimes we include accumulation of those MEPs or the My Zone effort points. So if you have one, then you can participate in these challenges, and the more effort points that you accumulate, a lot of times that you get extra bonus points toward that challenge. And so that's just kind of an extra incentive there for you to want to, kind of like just dive all in and see kind of like what that is all about. So that's kind of what we have here. If you have other questions, obviously reach out to your Actualize coach, and they'll be more than happy to fill you in.